right, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Free. I'm Ryan. I'm the pastor and executive director here. There's still a lot of people out in the cafe. They'll join us in a moment.
Partying out
they're just really going at it.
They're excited about the Nuggets win.
They really? Oh my goodness, we're gonna get to that in celebrations.
Okay, all right.
This is Noelle Wysocki. She is the community director here. So good to be with you all tonight. Welcome to Free. To all of you joining us online, welcome. We're glad you're part of this community here at Free. We're glad you're joining in whatever state you're in, or sober living houses, treatment centers, wherever you're at. We're just glad you're here. So chime in on the evening on Facebook and YouTube, because we love hearing from y'all. Hey, to give you the reminder, this is a community for addicts, loved ones of addicts, and spiritual refugees. And what we do here is break the silence of addiction and create space for healing, recovery, and spiritual connection. And as always, there's one thing we don't do in this community. Y'all can shout it out on a count of three, all four words. 1, 2, 3. We don't do shame, but Noelle will tell you a couple things that are coming up.
Yeah, if tonight's your first night here, welcome. We are so grateful to have you here with us. Get with a home team member or a free staff member, and we will get you hooked up with a welcome bag. And inside this welcome bag has a little bit about what we do here at Free Recovery Community. There's some fresh roasted wagon coffee in this bag and just some other free swag items. So just know that we're super grateful to have you here with us tonight, and grab a welcome bag. Next up, we're still needing a couple volunteers to help us take down the shed back here in Free. So get with Ben. He's our facility manager, Ben at Free Recovery Community. And we're also going to be building a new shed. So if this is something that interests you, you want to be of service, you need community service hours, or you're just looking to get connected, please find a staff member or get in contact with Ben, and we would love to have you. You're going to be there, right?
I'm going to be there. I'm going to oversee the project.
Right. We
Yes.
hammered out at the 5 o'clock service that Ryan doesn't own a hammer, so that's going to be a problem.
You know, but Ben owns hammers, and I bet he'd let me use one.
But do you know how to use it?
Well, a hammer's one thing, but when we get more complex than that, that's where I just kind of pray for people.
Tammy literally just rolled her eyes at you.
You have a hammer at home.
I saw that.
All right,
And
moving on.
Lastly, I need about 5 to 6 more people to join us next Saturday for the Sober Kickball Tournament. This will be in a park in Denver. We are going to be playing against 3 other sober communities here in the Denver metro area. So the other teams will be TSRA, 12-Step Recreation Association, and they host the softball league that we're in every year, the Phoenix, and then Recovery Elevator. So this is a no-cost event. So if you're looking for something fun, get outside, get with a bunch of sober people next Saturday, come join us from 10 to 1. Either get with me, send me an email at Noelle at Free Recovery Community, and we will get you all registered, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you, Noelle. Man, speaking of fun, what a great weekend it has been here at Free. We hosted the Faith and Recovery 2-day summit here. So some of us we're low on energy. We're tired because we've been here for 2 days with a group of leaders from all over the country. We have a big Chicago crowd here tonight, maybe online too. Yeah, Free Recovery Chicago launching soon. You're going to hear from the pastor of that community, Seth, later on this evening as our guest storyteller. But before we start with celebrations in this community, but before we get to you all, if you read the newsletter this week or the social media post, I said in there, what if I told you there was a group in Africa who was so moved by our mission here at Free and what we do here at Free, who we are, that they just presented us with a tremendous gift, and we get to share that gift with you tonight. I want to invite my friend Darren Tipton to come up here and say a few words. Let me introduce Darren for a moment. We can clap for Darren. Come on up, dude. So Darren is a longtime friend of, let me move mine out of the way a little bit. Longtime friend of mine and Tammy's. He, in his past life, led many trips to Africa, doing great work there. I've been to Africa with Darren several times. Tammy has as well. And he was here a year ago. He was here at Free for the first time. Darren doesn't live here in Denver. You're in Boston now, right?
No, I've moved.
You've moved again?
This is how close we are. No, I'm just kidding. No, I work for Delta Airlines. I'm based in Fort Lauderdale. I work for Delta, and I'm based in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, so you did move again?
I did move again.
Okay, well, here's why I'm telling you that story. He was here a year ago, and he was moved by who we are here at Free and what's happening here. And a couple weeks after he was here, he called me and he said, hey, this group in Africa that I'm working with, man, I've told them about free, and in Africa, you know they have the same problem we have here. Addiction, it doesn't pick countries. It doesn't discriminate. And then I got on a Zoom call with Darren and one of his top artists. And will you tell us the story of what's happening?
I would love to tell you the story. Thank you, first of all. I did come here a year ago, and I was so touched and moved by what I saw and what I read on the walls here. And so I went back to my staff and said, you know, we've been studying what it means to be a radical guardian of hope. I had taken them through this process.
Oh, and Darren, I forgot to say, he's the founder of Darren's Hope Factory. So staff at Darren's Hope Factory. Yeah.
You can keep interjecting if you want to.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Sorry, I won't do it again. I won't do it again.
So I've been taking these young people through this idea of what is a radical guardian of hope. We've been talking about it, the Nelson Mandelas, the Mother Teresa's, and of course just the everyday people doing amazing things. I came here, I was so impressed. I wasn't just impressed with the way it is here, but I walked in and I caught fire of what you guys are doing. And not from the lights, not from the sound system, not from his amazing preaching, but from your truth. And a little bit about me, I've been chasing hope my whole life, as an adult especially, helping people find it, learning what it is, going to the most difficult places on the planet, and saying, but what can we do together? And so I went back to my staff and I said, you guys, this is what I did. I took pictures of these banners and I sent them to them. And I said, let's write a song, find an artist who's aspiring, has a good voice that can share that talent with us and you. And so they wrote some things down that I'd like to share with you, just a couple things that they wrote. They wrote this song. We recorded it, and even the producer said, this is good for Africa, it's great, you know. What I like about what I see in here, and this is what we talked about as a team, is you guys have all of the beautiful things that make up a great team, but you have something that not many people talk about, practice, teach, and that's actionable courage. And so I heard about this Chicago team's going to be starting something there in the next few months. It's not the pillar of hope that makes you who you are. This is the radical core of who makes you who you are, and that is actionable courage. These are things that my staff wrote for me to tell you. How dare you stand here tonight with scars still healing and say, follow me, I know the way. How dare you look addiction in the eye and say you don't get the final word. How dare you fight for people who forgot to fight for themselves. But you all did. And you'll do it again. At Darren's Hope Factory, we exist for moments like these. To find, fuel, and fight alongside those who refuse to die. Let hope die. These are things they wrote now. We didn't come here to make a little presentation for you all tonight. We came here having studied who radical guardians of hope are, those rare souls who throw their lives into building something better when the world itself is burning. And when my team saw what you're doing, they didn't hesitate, they didn't whisper, they said clear and loud, these people are radical and these people are guarding hope. So with that said, filmed on the banks of the Zambezi River at Victoria Falls in Livingston, Zambia, I give you Free.
I'm not perfect, I make mistakes. I've been gone for a long, long time, I lost my way. I'm only human and I got my flow. 'Cause I need love and I'll be okay. Show me love and I'll be okay. I believe in miracles, freedom is near. Like an eagle soaring high, I might lose myself as long as I find myself. I don't wanna lose and fail. I need a place where there's no shame. Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is beautiful. Freedom is beautiful. Wanna be free. Wanna be free. Living free. Loving free. Longing free. I'm finally free. Living free. embrace your sorrows, own your pain. You can hear my whispers. I'll be your shoulder to lean on. You are not alone. The God is right here with you. Call upon His name. He will shine you His light. You will find rest for your soul. You will find rest for your soul. The yoke is easy and the burden is light. Freedom, 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 freedom. Freedom is beautiful. Freedom is beautiful. Wanna be free. Wanna be free. Living free. Loving free. Longing free. I'm finally free. Living free. I'm only human and I got my flaws. I need love and I'll be okay. Show me hope and I'll be okay. I'm only human and I got my flaws. I need love and I'll be okay. Show me hope and I'll be okay. Alright, I'll be okay. I wanna be free, yeah. Alright, I'll be okay.
Thank you, Darren Tipton, founder of Darren's Hope Factory. And listen, I know your crew back in Africa is probably not watching this live because it's in the middle of the night, but they may be watching tomorrow. And to every face in that video, lead singer, violinist, y'all are absolutely incredible. Thank you for giving us such a gift that we get to share with the world. How cool is that? To all of you that did that, big round of applause to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, well, let's keep the celebrations. And by the way, isn't it incredible that what you're doing here, don't ever doubt the ripple effect of who you might have an impact on all across the world. Not just here locally, but all across the world. It's an incredible thing we get to do. Let's keep the celebrations going. It's how we start here on a Saturday night. We start with the good, we lift up the good. Maybe you are here celebrating a sobriety anniversary or a birthday or whatever the new thing in your life in recovery is. We celebrate it all here. God joins with us in the celebrations. It's a profound time that we get to do here together of cheering and rooting and clapping for each other. So, if you're here in person, just raise up your hand. Brock, all the way from Chicago, has a mic on this side. Cody Lovejoy, all the way from Denver, Colorado, has a mic on this side. And if you're online, drop your celebrations in the YouTube comments or the Facebook comments. We'll join with you there. Let's take 3 minutes.
Hi, I'm Vaughn, and I am 34 days sober today.
34 days sober. All right, Vaughn. Congratulations, man. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
I'm Jamie, and I just celebrated 18 months.
Way to go, Jamie.
I'm Dan, and I just celebrated 10 months. And what I wanted to add to that, why I share that is I'm now less than 2 months of joining the recovery field and passion and helping those as I was helped.
Yeah, giving a gift away. There you go, man. Congratulations. Glad you're here, brother.
My name's Mel, and I just celebrated 60 days.
All right, happy 60 days.
Hi, I'm Seth, and I submitted my last seminary paper this week.
Way to go, Seth. Last seminary paper. That's a big deal.
I wanted to celebrate Cody. He's just got 90 days today.
Yes. Way to go, Cody. Did you
Hi.
have one?
Oh.
I thought
What?
you had one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, there. Oh. I'm so sorry.
We got to get this one in. This is going to be a good one. I feel it.
Hi, I'm Nikki, and I'm 4 days sober.
Way to go, Nikki. Happy 4 days. A very important one.
Hi, I'm Raymond, and I'm celebrating being here with my very first sponsee from 34 years ago.
All right.
31? All right. Well, he was my very first sponsee in New York City. And
All right.
he's here tonight.
We'll celebrate that. Yeah, that's a good one.
My name is David. I'm 90 days heroin free.
Way to go, David. Congratulations, man.
Yeah, this is Cy. I celebrated my 52nd birthday last weekend and had a fantastic birthday weekend.
There you go. Happy birthday, brother. Glad you're here, Si.
My name is Russ. I have 67 days off of cocaine.
Way to go, Russ. Glad you're here, Russ.
My name's Michael. I had 8 years off of drugs and alcohol this month, and 8 years ago I couldn't see hope, and a lot of times along the way I couldn't see hope, but I learned you don't have to see hope for there to be hope.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll celebrate that. A word on hope. All right, thank you, Brock and Cody. Oh, I almost dropped it on you. Tammy Canada is going to join me up here so we can join with the online community. That screen is out, so we got to turn and face our butts to the people so we can see the...
Well, we should celebrate our wonderful start to our weekend, too.
Yes, what was that?
Well, we did our Faith and Recovery Summit with all our friends from Chicago, and
Tons
it was
of fun.
just, yeah.
It was
tons
fun,
of
wasn't it?
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And look at all these new friends we have.
I know, it's beautiful. Oh, can we celebrate this, too? Y'all, I was watching it in my office with my boys, the Nuggets game. The tie game, Russ was in there, Russ was in the office. Tie game, the buzzer goes off. Gordon gets the ball off an air ball three-pointer by Jokic. I'm really getting into this, ain't I?
Yeah.
And then he slam dunks it. They have to review it to make sure it counted before the buzzer. Nuggets won by 2, so they're tied 2-2. We'll go back home for game 5. Can we celebrate that
They
here?
needed that. They needed a redemption after what they did a couple
we're
of minutes
into
ago.
it. We are into it. All right, shall we join our online people? Let's see what they have for us.
Hey, Sarah. She says, celebrating my new job being so super awesome. Been there 2 weeks now and totally loving it.
Yeah, way to go, Sarah. Congratulations on a new job. Oh, she's got another one. She's got 2. Celebrating one of my best friends visiting from Washington State this weekend. So blessed to have such amazing people in my life. Yeah, Sarah, we'll celebrate that one too.
And Pam says, we will be closing on our new home in what? Is that what? Oh my gosh.
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. Thank you, guys. That's embarrassing. On 7/24. I did see you post online, Pam, all the pictures of your home, and it's looking beautiful, but we do
Way
miss
to
you.
go, Pamela. Happy new home. Chad C says, celebrating 14 months free from meth. I was there in person on day 8.
Awesome, Chad.
Chad, good to have you with us tonight, man. Congratulations.
And Mike says, great news, Metro State PA announcer Andy McClure is well on his way to recovery from prostate cancer.
All right. Good to have you here, Mike. Yin says, way to go, Chicago peeps. Yeah, they're in the house tonight. Yay to Chicago peeps, actually. I added the way to go part. I don't know why.
And Jonathan says, celebrating another day sober, ODAT, one day at a time.
Yeah, brother, that's good stuff, Jonathan. Shanley says, buenos noches from El Salvador.
Yeah, Shanley.
Welcome from El Salvador, Shanley. Good to have you here tonight.
Drinking some coffee down there.
All right, I guess that's all we have. Thank you, Tam, for being up here with me. It's always fun to celebrate with people, isn't it? Mm-hmm. All right, y'all, we are starting a new series tonight called Faith and Recovery, which was the same name of the 2-day summit we just hosted here at Free. Let me tell you this. So, y'all know Seth is going to be our guest storyteller tonight from Chicago. But I want to tell you about next week because I really hope you come again next week. Were you here last week? Raise your hand if you were here for Easter last week. Okay. We got an alarm going off. It's all good, though. Last week, Raymond shared his story of, I won't tell the whole story again, but he got out of prison, and he's doing incredible things. But his mom, who he now calls mom, and she calls him son. Do you remember her, Charletta Evans? She was here. I got to give her a ride home last Saturday night. And man, do you all ever have that experience where you're in the car for 15 minutes and it feels like you're just like sitting in the presence of God? This is what this felt like. And I said, Charletta, can you please come share that story of forgiveness with us here at Free? And she was open next Saturday. So she's going to be here sharing the story of forgiveness. It's going to be awesome. Hope you come to that. Yeah, it's going to be good. But tonight, let's kick things off with Walled Off Faith and Recovery. So what are the things, when you look at your life, what are the things that wall you off from God and the spiritual? But before we get there, let me tell you first about our trip to Mexico. Can I tell you about that trip? Yes, I'm going to tell you about that trip. Okay, it was 2006. Tammy and I were 1 year married, so we were celebrating our 1 year wedding anniversary, and we decided we're going to go to Mazatlan, Mexico, and spend time on the beach and do our thing. And the trip was great. The first day went great. The second day, we were out shopping around and eating, and there was a guy there, like in the streets, and dressed really nice and professional, really nice guy, and he said, hey, would you all like to come to this timeshare presentation? And if you come to this timeshare presentation, it's only a couple of hours. If you give a couple of hours, we'll give you a free snorkeling trip. And I was like, sweet. Tammy was 23 years old at the time. I had just turned 24 years old. We didn't have a lot of money, but one of the things we did early in our marriage, we decided vacation together was important. So we took $1,400 out of savings to purchase a 3-year package deal here in the U.S. that we could use in Mexico too. So we went to this timeshare presentation. And do y'all know how this timeshare presentation started? It started with this really nice guy offering me a free beer. Now, y'all do know, of course I accepted the beer, the free beer, active alcoholic at the time. It's the greatest lie we alcoholics love to tell ourselves. Oh, no, it won't hurt us because it's free. Y'all do know if you're an alcoholic like me, there is never a free drink that you've had in your life. It will take everything from you, right? Okay, so we're talking about this timeshare. He's giving us the presentation. He shows us this beautiful model of a condo building on the beach, and then he shows us the construction drawings of this beautiful condo that's getting built, this high-rise on the beach. And then he offers me another free beer, and I take that. And then he walks away. He says he's got to go talk to his boss for a moment. And he comes back with this big ear-to-ear grin. And he says, listen, you are not going to believe it. I've got some really good news for you. I said, really, tell me. He says, that vacation package you bought, that 3-year thing, it's not worth $1,400. A lot's happened this year. Value has increased. It's not worth $1,400. It is worth $12,500. Really? How did this happen? He said, no, it gets better. He said, my boss wants to personally buy that from you. And get this, he says, the condo building that's being built, he's willing to give you one of those top floor units every week for the rest of your life for $12,500. And I said, man, this sounds too good to be true. This is amazing. He says, yeah, this is like an even trade, and you're getting the far better end of the deal, and all you gotta do is sign here. So I'm like, yeah, where's the pen? Give me the pen. Can I get another beer too? And I signed. Tammy, she's next to me. She says, I don't know, honey. You think this is a good idea? I said, honey, I've never been more sure of anything about it. Of course this is a good idea. We're getting the better end of the deal here. So I sign. Some things you cannot make up. I get back to our hotel room. We get back that afternoon, and literally on the nightstand, there's a pamphlet. It's been there the whole time. I just bothered to read this pamphlet when we got back. And on this pamphlet, on the front of it, it says in big bold letters, beware of this scam. Then it mentions the company that we just spent time with, and it's a scam, and many Americans have been scammed in this. My first thought was, no, maybe they've been scammed, but we weren't scammed. He showed us the drawings. He showed us the building. He showed us the white sand beaches. We didn't get scammed. Well, then we got home at the end of the week. What's the first thing you do when you get home after vacation? After sleep, you go through all the mail that you've missed. And there was this envelope from a bank from here in the U.S. that I have never used, never associated with. And I open up this envelope, and it's a credit card bill. It's a credit card bill in the amount of $12,500. Dang, is that what I signed? It took us 10 years to pay off this credit card bill, and after interest at 24.99%, we paid upwards of $16,000. And by the way, that beautiful condo building on the beach was never built. I had been scammed. Some of you are sitting here right now thinking, wait a minute, Ryan, you just paid it? You didn't call the bank and explain that you'd been scammed? Wait a minute, Ryan, you didn't reach out for outside legal assistance to help you get rid of this bill? You just paid it? You didn't reach out to anybody? Nope. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't say a word to anyone. Why? Pride. And I paid it every single month with a huge resentment. Pride. I didn't want anyone to know how embarrassing that was. I didn't want anyone to know how stupid I felt, how weak I felt, how taken advantage I felt, how these poor decisions I made while I was drinking and while I wasn't drinking, how I did those decisions. I didn't want anyone to know as a 24-year-old the financial fear that we were in, and we didn't have a lot. And I had spent an entire life up to this point trying to convince you that I was smart and strong and unaffected by the things I had been through. And pride is very costly. Pride will sit there and tell you your mask is so beautiful. You don't have to take off your mask. You have the most beautiful mask out of everyone. Just keep the mask on. Pride is very costly. Now, there are lots of things that I think come along in my experience, and they wall us off from God in the spiritual. Consider this one, shame. Yeah, shame does a good job at walling us off, doesn't it? Shame is when you feel unworthy of connection because of maybe something in your past, maybe something in your present. You feel unworthy of a relationship with God. You assume that God is opposed to you. Or how about this one? Anyone been walled off by fear? Fear's a big one. Fear of punishment, fear of vulnerability, fear of what if I get it wrong, fear of taking this mask off and what will people think of me? Will I still be loved? Will I still belong? How about this one? Control. Well, that one can wall us off big time, can it? Control will start telling me, Ryan, if you can't taste it, feel it, hear it, touch it, see it, then Ryan, you can't do it. Control is a very interesting thing. We all resort to control as that trauma response, and it never merges well with the spiritual path because God is inviting us to let go. The spiritual path is about letting go, and that trauma response of control says, don't let go. You just got to hang on and hang on tighter. Or how about this one? Unhealed wounds. Yeah, they wall us off, don't they? What do? They keep us in survival mode. They keep us locked in the past. And what's the spiritual path doing? What's God inviting us into? God is always inviting us into the present moment. I want you to be present. And if you are holding on to those unhealed wounds, not doing any work, you are constantly being locked into the past. I think all these things wall us off, but I think the number one thing in my experience that walls us off more than anything else, in fact, this one thing captures all these other things. It's like the big umbrella over all these other things. It's pride. Pride walls us off. And I'm not talking about your confidence. I'm not talking about your healthy self-esteem. I'm talking about that kind of pride that resists vulnerability, refuses help, and clings to the illusion of self-sufficiency. Anyone here battling pride? Yeah. Do you know, early in my sobriety, my sponsor told me, he said, Ryan, you are walled off from God. You're walled off from the spiritual. I didn't know how to make sense of it. He told me this even after I tried to impress him with all of my accomplishments. Man, do you know the things I've done? And those things, they could never get me sober. They never kept me sober. It didn't matter that I had a biblical studies major or went to seminary and I was serving as a pastor. It could never stop me from getting drunk. And he told me this even after I told him how strong I was. No, you look at me, man. I've been through some things and I'm still standing. No, Ryan, you're drunk. I didn't know how to make sense of it. The truth is, I did not know how to take off that mask. Pride kept me from taking off the mask. And he essentially said to me, Ryan, do you want to get sober? And not just get sober, but do you want to stay sober? He said, you cannot think your way there. You cannot intellectualize your way there. You damn sure can't accomplish your way there. It is a spiritual path. Are you willing to walk through the process? And I would remind y'all, dropping your pride will cost you something. There's a great cost to it. It will cost you your mask. It will cost you your shame, your control, your fear, your unhealed wounds. But holding on to your pride might cost you even more. Maybe $16,000 more, if you know what I mean. See, pride will always wall you off from God the spiritual, and I do get it. Some of you here in this room, some of you tuning in online tonight, you say, yeah, but I've been burned by religion. And then you could tell me the story of how you were told by religious leaders in your life that your questions were bad, your doubts were bad. You would say they told you your doubts kept you opposed to God, and you were fed a narrative. Some of you were fed this narrative about yourself that you were inherently bad. You were born inherently opposed to God. And then you were fed this narrative about a God who was always angry and judgmental and full of wrath. And let's just be clear for a minute. When we talk about God and the spiritual path in this community, we are not talking about any of those things. We're talking about the exact opposite. See, if pride is the thing walling you off, try trading it in for some humility. One of my favorite authors, his name is Brian McLaren. He wrote a great book called Faith After Doubt. I highly recommend it. In Faith After Doubt, he describes what he calls the 4 stages of faith development. And as we go through these stages, just see if you resonate with any of these, see if you can make sense of them in your own life. The first one he talks about is this stage called simplicity. In simplicity, it's marked by dualism. It's right versus wrong, us versus them. You learn how to obey the rules passed down from the authorities. You learn how to be good. You mimic the practices necessary for belonging. If you move through stage 1, you hit stage 2 in faith, and he calls that complexity. See, in complexity, we begin to push back on the authorities because now we have some questions. We've been through some things. We're not children any longer. We want to self-differentiate. We're not like our parents. We want to think for ourselves as self-reliant individuals. Then if you move through the second stage, you get to the third stage, which he calls perplexity. See, in perplexity, honesty is expected. Critique is inevitable. Doubt is a virtue. It's when you relentlessly challenge the status quo. You don't trust the system. There's no room for BS, and deconstruction is key. And if you can move through that, and a lot of people get stuck in stage 3, but if you can move through stage 3, you hit what I think is the sweet spot. And he calls this 4th stage harmony. Life is a mysterious gift, seeking understanding, connection, and the common good, reverent openness to the mystery of God. Faith is expressed in love, and humility, not deconstruction, is key. Now, if you were raised in a religious, rigid environment or conservative evangelical Christianity like I was raised in, well, then you probably know all about stage 1 and stage 2, right? We're right, they're wrong. We've got the truth, they don't. We're good, they're bad. We're going to heaven, they're going to hell. But then you move through life. You maybe went to college, or you got a job and you started meeting other people. You started having diversity among your friend group, and they raised some issues for you, and you had some questions, and you figured out you didn't want to be that any longer. And listen, y'all, it's very easy to stay in stage 3. Stage 3 is perplexity, deconstruction. This was my life in college. This was my life in seminary. You tell me your theology, and I will poke holes in it. I was going through my own faith crisis at the time. I had lots of questions. I'd been hurt by religion. I didn't want to give myself to a faith community. And y'all, the truth is, some of you here, you've been through some hard things in life. You've been through the most difficult and deepest kind of pain, and you didn't know what to do with it. So you became very good at deconstruction, and you've lived there for a long time. You became good at deconstruction in a world that is riddled with pain and heartache. It is simply too risky to give yourself to the unknown, to give yourself to something bigger and trust in something bigger. And I would ask you, on the spiritual path, because it is a spiritual path, are you willing to walk through the process so that you might arrive at stage 4, so that you might hit the sweet spot of harmony where it's not deconstruction that's key? Everyone can do that. But what about humility? How do you get to humility? If pride is the thing walling you off from God and the spiritual, trade it in. And what's pride do? Pride resists vulnerability. It refuses help. It clings to the illusion of self-sufficiency. I can do this on my own. So I would ask you, what's it look like for you to drop your pride? And it is, I think, some of the hardest work you can ever do. And I'll close with this story. It's one of my favorite stories. It's a beautiful story in Matthew's Gospel, chapter 8. And it's this profound story. And what makes it profound is just the very first line in this story. Check it out, Matthew chapter 8, verse 5. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. You say, Ryan, I don't get it. Why is that so profound? Because what is a centurion? A centurion is a Roman commander. He would be the strong one. He's in charge of 1,000 troops. He's a strong one, and he's now asking for help from a Jew. But not just any Jew, a Jewish rabbi named Jesus. This would have been a mind-blowing opening if you're hearing this story in the first century Greco-Roman world. And this centurion, the strong one, goes on to tell this story. He says to Jesus, he says, look, you've got to understand, I have this servant. In the first century world, they had servants, so just go with the story. He says, I have this servant, and he's at my home, and he's laying on the ground, and he's acting like he's paralyzed. He can't move, and he says he's in tremendous pain. And Jesus immediately says to him, shall I come into your home? And the centurion, the Roman centurion, the commander of 1,000 troops says, no, Jesus, I don't think you understand. Can't you just stay out there and say the word of healing and it'll happen? He says, maybe you don't know who I am. I'm the commander here, and when I tell people to do it, they do it. When I tell them to jump, they say, how high? And you're a Jew, and I'm a Roman. I can't be seen with you. I mean, Jesus, are you saying you would come into my home and do for me what I can't do for myself and do for him what he can't do for himself? Do you see why this story is so stunning? Do you see what's happening here? The pride of this Roman centurion is melting away. He's getting vulnerable. He's taking off the mask. He's asking for help. He's letting go of this illusion that we hold on to of self-sufficiency. And how does Jesus respond to it? One line. Taken aback, Jesus said, I've yet to come across this kind of simple faith in Israel, the very people who are supposed to know all about God and how God works. Isn't that something? Jesus is saying to this man, I've been all over Israel. I've hung out with the religious leaders. None of them have the simple faith that you have demonstrated. This faith is good, and this is the most unlikely person, a Roman. This is the strong one, the one who's used to doing it on his own. And the walls of pride start to come down. And Jesus says to this man, your faith is good. Never have I seen a faith like this. He's letting go of pride, allowing pride to drop, allowing God in. And if you were to read the rest of the story, then healing happens. And listen, y'all, I do get it. Some of you would say to me, man, Ryan, I just don't understand. Can't we do this recovery stuff? Can't I get rid of the drug or the drink or whatever substance? Can't I do it without the God stuff, without this faith talk? And the truth is, I don't know. Maybe. It didn't work for me, but go try it. Let me know if it works. I get the questions that come up, but in my experience, you will hit a moment in your life where you need more than you. When you're on the floor, curled up in the fetal position because of a tremendous amount of pain in your life, you will at some point come to the point of saying, I can't save me from me. And I know some of you here have big questions when it comes to the God stuff. You have big questions when it comes to the spiritual path. And I would tell you, just breathe. Stop stressing out so much over it. You're going to be okay. Truly, you're going to be okay. What's that line in the big book tell us? I love this line. Relax and take it easy. You don't have to stress out when it comes to all the God stuff. Relax and take it easy. Yes, I know some of you have been hurt. I know some of you have been hurt by religious people. You've been burned, you've been betrayed, and I would tell you when you come into this community, keep all those questions. Keep all those raised suspicions. You don't have to do away with them, but don't let pride be the thing that walls you off from God and the spiritual. Because maybe God's like just sitting outside saying, yo, you want me to come in? And you're like, whoa. God, can we just take it slow, please? I mean, can we kiss first? Take it easy. We're just getting started here. I'm the one that gets results on my own. Let me prove it to you. Let me tell you my accomplishments. Let me tell you my strengths. Do you know who I am? So what? Who cares about all your accomplishments? Are you willing to let God in? Are you willing to be willing to take a baby step onto the spiritual path of taking off your mask? I know it's scary. What are people going to think? Well, I belong if they truly see me. And the good news is, you don't have to do anything great. Your willingness, never have I seen a faith as simple and as good as that. And what I can tell you is, at least in my experience, simple faith, it will not protect you from a life of everything that's hard. It will not protect you from pain, but I have seen it lead to healing and harmony time and time again. Life is a mysterious gift, seeking understanding, connection, and the common good, reverent openness to the mystery of God, faith expressed in love, humility is key. And then I'll really close with this. I was talking with a buddy of mine last week. I was leaving here at Free, and I called him on the phone. And, he said, Ryan, man, I've just had this aha moment when it comes to my faith life. And I said, what's that? He said, you know, when I got clean and sober and when I started down the spiritual path, doing life with God now, he said, I thought my life and everything was just going to work out the way it was supposed to, the way I thought it should work out. And he said, but what I'm encountering is there's a lot of pieces in my life that are falling apart, and I don't know what to do with it all. But he says, what I'm learning in my faith, what I'm learning in this relationship with God is everything may not be okay, but I will be okay. I'll be all right. Everything around you, everything in your life might not be all right. You're going to go through hard. I'll be all right. Do you see the transition? Do you see how that's letting pride fall? Do you see how it's humility? That's healing. So what I'd invite you to do for a moment is just take a moment and breathe. Yeah, just relax and take it easy because you're going to be all right. And I invite you into a moment of reflection as you hear this little gig called You'll Be All Right, Kid by Alex Warren. Take a listen, take a look.
Hi, friends. Welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Carrie. I'm the Associate Executive Director here. And thanks, friends. And if you are new with us, you should also know that the second half of our service every Saturday, we invite a community member to come up into the living room and share their experience, strength, and hope with us related to the topic. This next guest storyteller fits so perfectly with this conversation, mainly because we had our 2-day summit here these last Friday and Saturday all day long. If you guys even knew what Ryan Canaday has been doing for the last 48 hours, and the fact that he could get up here and do what he just did, it blows my mind. Like, you are truly talented, friend. But anyway, so is our next guest storyteller. So he started his journey about 2 years ago with us, and he joined a cohort that Ryan set up online. He just kind of threw it out there like, hey, does anybody want to start their new thing? Did not necessarily mean they're free, but just their new thing. And Seth signed up, and he decided throughout this 9-month process that he actually wanted to start a free, right? So we flew him out here. This was 2 Decembers ago, so not this one, but 2023. He came out. You guys might remember him. He delivered the message. Since then, he's been working tirelessly behind the scenes to get Free Chicago started. What's amazing, and it goes well with what Ryan was saying too, is he doesn't have all the answers. He's probably not going to get it all right, but he's brave enough to try. So I really am excited to introduce you guys to Seth, because he is an extraordinary leader and he has a tremendous team here with him tonight. So please do me a favor and help welcome Seth to the stage.
I just noticed the glitter rug. How gay. How gay of you, Carrie.
We wanted you to feel at home.
Okay, perfect.
It's
like I'm in Boys Town all over again.
We did this just for you. Welcome back.
Hi.
You have been also with us for the past 2 days.
Yes.
Little tired?
Yeah, well, Ryan basically preached for 2 straight days, so I don't know how he's still going.
And then he did this whole second one. You're amazing. If you guys even knew what he does, y'all should be real nice to him. Anyhow, let's talk about you.
My favorite thing to talk about.
Well, then you'll be real good at this one. So let's start, because I always often say that addiction is probably the least interesting thing about you. Unfortunately, probably people want to know that you qualify to be up here.
Yeah.
I think you might qualify.
I might. I mean,
Okay.
I think my criminal record most certainly qualifies me to be here, right?
Well, you started. You didn't always look this criminal-like, because you started, right? You started, and let's go back to like the high finance. You were like in the Big Four accounting world, friend.
Well, I feel like growing up, I always needed to achieve things to prove that I had worth, right? And so I was a really good achiever. I was, top of my class in high school, had a master's degree by 23. I was a United States Senate page. I passed all 4 parts of the CPA. I worked for this firm that was the CEO factory, according to Business Week. Even dealing drugs. I went to prison for drug trafficking. I was really good if I tried something.
How'd that work out for you?
It didn't, but yeah, it didn't. But, I was always just like achieving, because I wanted, if I could achieve things, I could be important and I could matter and I could have worth, and then you might want me around, right?
Which is a tiring mask to wear,
It's
right?
so exhausting.
That all of our value comes from what we do and not just who we are.
Well, because then you achieve something and then you've got it and you still don't have worth, right? And so you've got to achieve the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, because every millennial and maybe every person has imposter syndrome, right? So I needed to somehow make you think I had worth, no matter what circle I was in. But that's exhausting, right? And, I told the people at the first service, I used to say that I drank to feel rich and skinny, right? But in reality, I drank because I wanted to forget the fears that I was less than, right? That I wasn't as physically good as you. I didn't have as much money. I wasn't as good at work, right? Because I ranked everyone according to that.
And that burned you out. You fell pretty hard, pretty fast. And you ended up, like you said, in prison, and you were alone with yourself in that dark, terrible place.
Yes.
But when you came out, so you went from high finance to drug dealer to prison. Spoiler alert, you became a pastor after that. It's a pretty drastic.
I have a lot of stuff to talk about from the pulpit. You know what I mean?
But you actually have, well, we'll get to that in a minute. So when you found your path to seminary and you found your path, you're like, I'm going to go this God route, right?
Yes.
And that also wasn't easy.
No. So whenever I got out of prison, you can't really get a CPA job with a criminal record, right? And so my first job, sorry, Ryan, my first job out of prison, I was homeless, junkie on the street for about 6 months. Whenever I got out of prison, I would have passed a lie detector test that I've never used again. All it took was 2 cuties and a Super 8, and I was high again, right? And so for about the next 6 months, I was just a homeless junkie. And so whenever I got sober, I got a job selling timeshares over the phone.
Did you sell Ryan his timeshare?
I wish. That would have been a good commission, right?
Or maybe you just have to pay him back karmically now by starting Free Chicago. I don't know.
Something like that. So I after prison and after I got sober, my first job was selling timeshares. And then my next job was doing taxes in a strip mall. And then eventually I got everything back. And they say in early sobriety that you'll live a life beyond your wildest dreams. And I thought my wildest dreams were making $100,000 a year. So beyond that, 120. But what I realized is I couldn't even fathom the life that I wanted. So whenever I got out of prison and I built everything back, I had a job with a real estate investment firm. I had just bought a house, but it just felt kind of empty because that mask got really heavy. That mask of being the finance guy and the homeowner and achieving the things and doing the things and that level of desperation when the world sees something and you're broken on the inside. And so that third step prayer, I just kept saying it and saying it and saying it every morning, asking God for direction, take my will in my life. And eventually it just came to me, and I was running one day in Forest Park in St. Louis, Missouri, and it just was like all these puzzle pieces floating around that fell into place to become a pastor.
But not only did you become a pastor, you wanted to work with a very specific demographic.
Yeah.
You loved us addicts. You loved us loved one of addicts and those spiritual refugees.
Yeah.
And now you're doing Free Chicago.
Yeah. And that didn't happen right away, right? I worked at the really big fancy church with a lot of money, a lot of staff, a lot of people. It was the cush pastor job, right? They had 3 sites, and I was going to start the 4th. But I still felt that voice inside me calling me in a new direction, calling me somewhere different. I don't fit in boxes very well. My God doesn't fit in boxes, and I don't either. And so I was just a little too gay, a little too loud, maybe a little too vulgar sometimes for that church. And so through pain, I had to pivot. And the pain of the pivot actually led me closer to where I feel like God is taking me. Because I don't think I went through all of that just to hide it, right?
Well, and what I want to slightly get a little bit to the entire amazing crew that you brought with you today, is because for so long that story was rigorous self-sufficiency, and I have to do it all on my own, and I have to have all the answers. But today, this is living proof. I mean, you came with a team full of people.
Yeah, and I think there's at least that many people at home. I mean, Inez was just posting, and I know our friend Devin's online. So, at first, whenever I was starting to feel this call, as a queer person that grew up in the church, and I grew up in the Assemblies of God church, if anyone knows what that means, they're not nice to people who look, act, or sound like me. And so I have this deep affinity for those outcasts and weirdos and queerdos and people that maybe the church said, they don't want to sit with us. I could only imagine what Joel Osteen would think if he saw my launch team, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
Would he not like you?
I
don't know
think
enough
so.
about him.
Well, so here's actually a funny story. At first, I was really concerned that I didn't have the launch team that looked like the other launch teams. I think, what is it? We have a straight woman, 10 gay men, and a trans woman.
But
here with
you're
us.
the first launch team, right? There is no one's comparing you to anyone else.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I realized that's why God called me. Right? God called plenty of straight white people from the suburbs, right? God called me, this in all of my fullness and all of my identity, to plant a church that reflects that, right? Right? Because those spiritual refugees, those addicts, those people that love their addicts regardless, right? They usually don't look like good, proper suburban people, right? There's some of us in here, don't get me wrong. But, in being able to connect with people who the church said there wasn't space for and literally creating the space for those people is a beautiful thing, right?
Absolutely. And I encourage you, I know that you are now on Facebook, that you have a free Free Recovery Community Chicago on Facebook.
Yes. There's not a lot on it yet.
No, but what I'm saying is that this is the way.
Yes.
This is how to get connected.
Yes.
And I want to close because I do want to be mindful of time tonight. But I want people to get to know you, and I want people to connect with you. So please encourage all your friends, anyone in the Chicago area, get your people, help support Free Chicago. But to the person or to the team that's out there, and they are still feeling so walled off from I'm too scared to start. I don't know what this is going to look like. You know, you don't know what Free Chicago is going to look like. You don't have a building yet. You don't have, you know, we learned a little bit this weekend of like what the team might look like, what their vision might be. But to the person who is still out there who doesn't even believe that I can take the first step, what can you say to start that journey of hope from where they are now, taking that first leap of faith?
Yeah, to anyone that's walled off, like, first of all, a lot of the people I know that are walled off, it's because other people told them who God is and what God can do. And I challenge everyone to listen to who God is and what God can do, and not the people that represent who God is and what God can do. God is more dynamic than our brains can fathom, right? God has more space than current human beings in the world. And if anyone created walls to say God can't do that, they're wrong. Because God can, right? God can create space for you. God can create a new path in the wilderness. God, I mean, if you look at the Bible, it's always God doing things that everyone said God couldn't do, right? And so don't put limits on God, because we can't even fathom an infinite God with our finite minds. And so if that's how we're constructing our path, I mean, 6 months ago, I wouldn't tell you that 10 people from Chicago would be here curious, right? 6 months ago, I wouldn't have told you, I mean, a year ago, I wouldn't have even told you that it's something that y'all would want to partner with me on. 18 months ago, I wouldn't have thought that I had anything that anyone saw worthy of sharing. And so I think it was Martin Luther King that said faith is taking the first step when you don't know what the second step is. And so I think sometimes we just got to do it, and we just got to trust God. We got to create space for people to connect and grow and be exactly who they are, but be challenged to be a little bit more. So.
And to pick the people around you wisely. Can everyone who is from Chicago please raise your hand? Woo! So see how many people are here from Chicago? And everyone else who attended the summit this weekend, I truly want to thank you. It was an amazing experience. But I would encourage, I hope Free Chicago is going to stick around a little bit after, get to know them, connect with them. I mean, these are some of the bravest people out there who are willing to take that first step, and they have no idea what it's going to look like. Let's support them. Let's get connected with them, because we know what we have here. It's so important. Let's help them do the next thing in their next city. So please stick around.
Yes,
Thank
and
you so much.
Follow Free Recovery Chicago on Instagram and Facebook. I promise Christian sitting in the front row is going to get some stuff up there.
Yeah.
Tell your friends that are in the Chicago area to reach out. Slide into my DMs. It's fine.
In a healthy way.
A bunch of creepy gay men do it anyways, so you might as well do it too, right?
And I do also want to say about Christian, because today we also learned, I'm sorry, friends, but he's doing this amazing, beautiful project talking about masks. So this whole entire thing. So get connected with his team. They're doing beautiful things, and it takes all of us from different cities all over the world. Let's do this together. We can break the silence of addiction.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Good stuff. Thank you, Seth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carrie. Carrie, it has dawned on me that we're only as good as the people who we surround ourselves with. Carrie has, I know Carrie's tired. I'm tired. I know she's tired. She's been here all weekend, and all those little details it takes to make an event go, Carrie did them so fabulously. Thank you for everything, Carrie. Really. I have the best colleagues in the world. I'm really grateful, seriously. All right, y'all, the way we close things down here at Free on a Saturday night is very similar to how we begin. We begin with what we call the celebrations, and we close with heartaches, because what we find is we try to carry these burdens that we experience, and we put on the mask because we're strong and we're going to carry this thing alone, and then you discover you can't. And the good news is you don't have to. It's why you have community. It's why we have a God who's always doing the things we said God couldn't do. It's why we have a God who hears the cries of the people. So we take 3 minutes for this. If you're carrying a burden and you need some prayer, some encouragement, some lifting up, that's what this time is for. Again, if you're online, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, just drop your heartaches in that platform, and we'll join with you there. Mike on the side, Cody, and why am I blanking on your name? Haley. Say it again? Haley. Mm-hmm. Haley. Cody, Haley. Let's take 3 minutes, y'all.
I'm Brock. I have a friend that is dealing with suicidal thoughts currently, and I'm just struggling on in my recovery, like how to speak the words that need to come out of my mouth when that topic comes up to this person, and surround them with as much compassion as possible. But it's a tough thing to like break through when they're suffering from addiction as well, and I want to make sure that I'm also protecting myself from being too much or saying the wrong thing, and not being authentic in it. So just prayers for that person, and also for those around them that can offer some kind of guidance in that, and anyone else dealing with that sort of thing. So
Prayers for them and prayers for you, Brock. Thank you for sharing that with us, lifting you up.
I'm Nikki, and I told you that I was 4 days sober, and that is correct. I have also been trying to be sober for almost 2 years. I got a DUI the day before my divorce, and it was a custody hearing. And my 2 babies are now, I'm at risk of losing them forever. I'm getting 60 days, the judge said, to turn my life around. And before I said this prayer, I said, like, God, help me change so I can get my kids. And finally, every single door shut, my phone was turned off just recently, and the only way I could turn my phone on is to see Free Recovery. And I was like, what the heck is this about? This keeps like popping up. Who is Free Recovery? Who is this? And I've been watching you though, online, and even when I went to rehab. But just recently, when I was told that by the judge, I finally said, okay, I give up. I surrender my whole life to you. Do what your will is in me. And now I've been to an AA meeting 5 times a day. I mean, I'm like, I quit my job, and it's not just for my children, but I need my babies home. They need me.
Did you say your name is Wendy?
Nikki.
Oh, Nikki. Nikki, one of the beautiful things we get to see in this community, I say it all the time, we get to watch moms and dads get their sons and daughters back. There are women in this room that I would love for you to connect with. Y'all are here. Connect with Nikki about what that's like, and this is almost a celebration. I know it doesn't feel like it, but God's grace pools down at the bottom, and it's a good place to be. And I know it's really hard, so we're praying for you. Everyone here is extending their energy, prayers, vibes towards you, and God's got you. God's got you.
Yeah.
Stay connected.
Thank you.
Was there any more?
My name is Russ.
Yeah.
My newfound friend Colin is struggling mightily with suicidal ideation as well, and he's mental health is real. So for anyone who's struggling with mental health, anyone, but I just recently connected with Colin, and my prayers are going out up to him, and I hope all of you would do the same.
We'll certainly join with you in that prayer. Thank you, Russ. And it was mentioned last service, we had some really heavy heartaches. 24-year-old Dom died 4 weeks ago. We just found that out tonight, part of this community. This disease, man, it's a real one. It will seek to take your life, and it's why we got to keep doing what we're doing here, breaking the silence of addiction. Thank you, Haley and Cody, for being the mic pad. Did we have one more? Okay, let's do it.
Okay, sorry. Hello, my name is Jordan. I just wanted to ask for prayers for all the addicts and alcoholics who are suffering out there on the streets, and all the people that might pick up for their first time tonight.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to lift them up. Thank you for that, Jordan. Lifting them up, prayers for them. Thank you, Haley and Cody. And listen, if you have been... Oh, we got to join the online people. My screen is out. The monitor's out up front. So, Cody, come join me up here. Come on now. All right, you want to take the first one? We got to turn our butts to the people.
Sure.
But that's all right. Let's join our online people.
Soy, trusting the process, we're going to be all right.
Yes, we are. You're going to be all right, kid. I guess that's the only one we have online.
That's the only
you
one.
You got it easy tonight,
I
Cody.
got it easy tonight, so it's
fine. There you go, brother. Thanks for joining me up here. Okay, y'all, if you have been impacted by the mission of breaking the silence of addiction, the mission here, if this is your home, and yes, I'm talking to you online people too, because I know so many of you have never been in here, but you call this place home, and many of you have given. You see it as a spiritual practice in your life, a sacrificial practice in your life. For those of you here, you need to know we are funded by you, the people. Truly, without your giving, we don't exist. And like I said, I know some of you have made it a practice in your life. We are grateful for it here. It truly makes a difference. If you want to give to free, there's a few different ways to do it. You can download the app. All of the content is on the app. Guest Storyteller's messages. There's a giving button. You can give one time, or you can give weekly, monthly, however you want to do it. We're grateful for all of it. You can go straight to the website, freerecoverycommunity.com, and do the same thing there. There are the 2 giving kiosks for those of you that still do old school things like cash and check. We still take those things here just outside these doors. And we had to get rid of the dip jar. I told you all that story. It was a very simple way to give. They went out of business, so we had to get rid of it. But we found something just as simple. It's just outside these doors. It's a stand that says donate here. It's called the Kind Kiosk. What was so beautiful about the dip jar is you literally dipped in, dipped out, it lit up, and you got to feel good about your $20 gift. You can do the exact same thing on a Kind Kiosk. You literally just do a tap, tap, tap-a-roo, tap your card, and it gives. You can give anonymously. It's very quick. And check it out, the Kind Kiosk just outside these doors. It's a fun way to give. And really, we're really grateful for your participation in that here. It makes a difference. Hey, Chicago team, and I know we ran a few minutes over tonight, but Chicago people, Seth and your team, can I just have y'all come on here? We'll close with the Serenity Prayer. Yeah, let's give them a round of applause. Come on now. Thank you. You're doing some mighty things, Christian. Yeah, just gather down here, the whole Chicago team. Man, I don't think they're weirdos at all, Seth.
They're perfect.
Beautiful people. Look at this. Oh, my goodness. I know when Tammy and I were starting Free, we had people gather around us. Yeah, gather. Hey, so that y'all can get on camera here, some of you make 2 rows.
2 rows.
2 rows. When Tammy and I had people pray over us, it was this amazing thing. They were giving us some good juju and sending us out with some God stuff and believing in the mission. And so can we send y'all out with a prayer? Then we'll close with the Serenity Prayer. Oh, God, I lift up this team of people, these beautiful people from Chicago and the mission they are stepping into. God, fill them with courage. Where they feel so weak, give them strength. When they don't have all the answers, yeah, let them know they're going to be all right because you're going with them. You always go with us. So, God, as they go forward in Chicago to break the silence of addiction, to fill people with hope, your hope, we ask that you go with these people. Fill them in ways that are so unexpected. Be a great surprise to them at every corner, and may they find you everywhere. It's in God's name we pray. Amen. Thank y'all. Stay up here. Let's pray the Serenity Prayer together. Now, y'all out there, just open up the hands. It's a simple sign of openness, if you're able and willing. Yeah, you can even stretch the arms out if you want. But open up the hands and, take a big, deep breath because something beautiful is happening in you, in this place, in this space, in the world. God is living and breathing life in us and through us and all around us. And if you don't know the Serenity Prayer, it's on your screen, and it goes like this. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Grace and peace. See y'all next time. Thank you, guys. Hey, man.
All right, man.
You doing